This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
It's extraordinary that Nathan's even here today because on Saturday he had Legionnaire's disease, according to Nathan Morris.
Yeah.
Because he'd been playing in potty mix and then he got a cold.
And also the backstory, of course, our boss Dave, his mother Nellie died of Legionnaire's disease from doing the same thing. So it was in my head. It was a danger that I was ready.
But you had 2 masks on.
2 masks.
After you did the homework on Legionnaire's disease to be able to pinpoint this was the issue, how do you deal with it?
What do you mean?
You go to hospital.
Oh, did you lemon tea or something?
I had an English breakfast tea.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Which would fix it, Sean. But you got to understand, if you go in there thinking you've got something in your head, straight away you start Googling for Legionnaire's disease. You know what I mean? And really...
If you do have Legionnaire's disease, you need to go to hospital. Okay? Just for future reference in case you do have it. Yeah. Debbie's in Adelaide. Hi, Deb.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Firstly, thank God you're here with us, living.
Yeah, that's right, because obviously there was a bit of a health crisis. What did you convince yourself you had?
So in my early 20s, I'd suffered a stroke, and the symptoms I'd been experiencing not long after giving birth to my little son, 16-odd years ago, I was absolutely convinced I was headed down that track again.
Jeez, that would have been terrifying.
Yeah, I was totally convinced, absolutely. And so we went in, I got my mum to look after my son, and we were sitting there and we had a few tests, doing a few things. Randomly, one of them was a urine test.
Yeah.
I went, okay. Came back in, he sat us down and he said, look, well done, you're not having a stroke, but congratulations.
Why?
You're pregnant.
Would you rather a stroke?
Yes. Having been in the situation where you've had both, that's extraordinary.
Wow.
That's full on.
Hey,
thanks, Deb.
Deb's
gone.
Oh,
she's dropped out.
Okay,
Yep. That's okay. But great story, Debbie. Thank you. Abby, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Abby.
Okay, Abby, what did you convince yourself you had?
I convinced myself I had a brain tumour.
Oh, God, that
seems to be going around.
Yes, what happened?
Well, I didn't have a brain tumour. What it was, I'd gone through a breakup, and every night before I was going to bed, I was actually having a glass of Baileys that the person who's broken up with me had bought me to sort of soften the blow. So I was going to work in the morning, and I'd go to my friend at work. Oh my God, I think I'm sick. I said I keep having these terrible headaches every morning. I can't even see straight. Yeah. And I said I think I need to see a doctor. I said Graham's broken up with me, and now I'm dying. And I said I don't know what to do. I was in tears, and she said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "It could just be like she diagnosed me with PTSD, so she was as bad as me."
Yeah.
And then about a week later, I went to her. Do you know what? The symptoms have gone, and I suddenly realised symptoms stopped when the Bailey's bottle ran out.
So you were having a hangover.
It was just a hangover.
Hangover. No wonder Graham left.
Yeah, exactly.
That Graham has said, I don't want to be with you anymore, but here's a bottle of Baileys.
Now rock yourself to sleep.
Every night.
It's not a tumour.
She was lush.
Oh, that's great.
Abby,
thank you.
That
just
made me
brought
smile so much.
Brought a bit of joy. Thank you. Carrie's in Joondalup. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Carrie. Did you convince yourself that you had something really wrong with you?
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, I'm 40, so about 5 years ago, I've never really suffered acne.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm doing my daily routine. I'm a bit OCD with my daily routine for my toners and my moisturisers, etc., etc. So the kids really take the piss out of me because obviously I'm, packing everything to go on holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's got to be in its place.
Yeah.
So I'm there doing my daily routine, and all of a sudden I start getting acne, like really bad, like blotchy.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, off to the doctor, after a week of this, and it's not going. I'm thinking, is it hormonal?
Oh, God.
Anyway, off to the doctors I go, and he's like, okay, you've got a serious acne problem. What are we going to do? So you need to stop everything you're doing. Use this.
Yeah.
Gives me some tablets.
Oh.
I come home, explain to the kids, and they start pissing their pants laughing at me.
What?
Like, they've only gone and put chili in my moisturiser.
Oh, my God! You have bred monsters. That's an outrage.
I'm convinced I'm having a
midlife crisis.
Yes.
Going through the heart.
Skin's peeling off.
Oh, so they saw the opportunity. Look at all the stuff Mum does to her face.
Oh, my
Harry.
God. I cannot believe that they had the evil foresight to do that to their mother.
Like, it's one thing to think to do it, but to actually do it
Can I
is
tell you,
unbelievable.
I love your children.
Thank you,
That
Gary.
is funny.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Remember back in the day when the Titanic first came out, right? The world was fat-shaming Kate Winslet for playing Rose. Now, if you do yourself a favour, right, today, go and Google pictures of her when she was in that, and they were fat-shaming her. She is not fat at all.
I
It
thought
is
she looked
crazy.
She looked beautiful.
Yeah,
then.
no, that was the whole story was, and she had to come out and do interviews about how she was cast as the larger woman against. And you got to remember, Leonardo DiCaprio was like a broomstick back then, so anyone was fat next to him. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, but it was a different. Back then his girlfriends were age appropriate.
Yes.
None of them ever aged past 25. Hey, Ross,
the thing is though, is that, like, you know, you got to hand it to James Cameron, because it was one of those. You got to remember when that film came out, Kate Moss was at our absolute height, and it was that thing. It was that kind of skinny chic and everything. And we had a completely different sort of approach to what, you know. You're right. It was one of those things where everyone had to be super skinny, and it was unhealthy.
Back then, it was like healthy women, yuck. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah, exactly. And Kate Winslet, absolutely beautiful, lovely, absolutely lovely. And it's one of them things where, like, they'll go, oh, yeah, we've moved on, and now we're all a bit more enlightened. But I have to say, I'm just saying, and James Cameron is one of my heroes. I absolutely love James Cameron. But all I'm saying is, where are the fat Na'vi in Avatar? Look at them.
It's a great question. Well, there's no KFC on that planet. That's obviously the answer.
You think there's just, I mean, maybe that's what, you know, he's doing 5 of them. Like, now they're all athletic, they're warriors, they're super skinny. Maybe in the 5th one, they
just blow
the
out.
human, they get all the rubbish food, and it's just a
They get Uber Eats.
He's just sat in a chair. He's just sat in a chair, scratching his blue arm. I remember.
And then it looks like the guy from the Olympics opening ceremony.
Yeah. But think about it as well. The Na'vi, of course, on that planet, they're all vegetarians, aren't they? They all do one with the plants, and they don't. I don't know if they. Oh no, they kill animals. They eat farm to table.
Yeah.
Like
paddock to plate, Nath.
Paddock to plate. They eat that way, so they're not doing too bad.
I wasn't sure about the underwater people this time in. You know, the Avatar show.
Sean, if you love seafood, that's the place. That's the tribe you want to live with.
Fair call.
But then the other problem I've got with the Na'vi, and
I've been waiting to say it.
I'm a fantasy racist. That's what I am.
Yeah, okay.
Here's my problem with the Na'vi. No, my problem with the Na'vi, right, is they've got the long ponytail there.
Yes.
And when they bond with their partner, and then that intertwines, and they're together. And it's this beautiful moment of this sensual thing. And then 2 minutes later, they're plugging into them big flying bird things.
Yeah. So it's like they're doing it with the birds.
And they're connecting with them. And I think, what are you doing? It's like fondling a pigeon.
No, it's like having to get into your car and turn it on with your penis.
Okay.
You know what? I wasn't going to go there. I thought fondle a pigeon would be better. But it's good to know if you're sure.
There's
and it's
the line.
Good to know that you can properly cross the line.
Of course you can.
We love your work, Ross.
One final question, right? Just one final question before I go, right? On the Na'vi, right?
Yes.
It's like about time this came up in the interview.
Okay.
He's sat there in his chair, big fat Na'vi. He's eating the burger ring cheeseburger thing that you've created, right? He's choking on it, right? How do you know? He's already blue.
That's, such a good point, Ross.
It's a really good point.
What a great way to finish this interview.
And I do know there's probably more things about the Na'vi, but we'll get that off your chest the next time.
To be fair, more questions than answers.
I haven't put the tickets on sale yet, but I am coming back there start of next year.
Okay.
So get all your Navi questions
All right.
down,
Yes.
and I'll come in and let's do a Navi special.
Yeah, let's
We'll
break
do
it
a
down. We'll
Navi
break it
segment.
down.
And everyone listening right now, if you've ever had thoughts related to the Navi
Yes.
on Avatar, we've got a while now to get your homework done,
Yeah,
and then we'll
questions.
open up the phones.
We'll
Yeah.
see you. We'll see you when you're here, Ross. Can't wait.
All right, always a pleasure.
Good
Take
man.
care.
See you, Ross.
This is Navi 937.
It's the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Cost of living, dudes.
Oh, man.
Cost of
Cosy
living.
lives.
It's
How's
a
it
lot,
hurting
isn't
you?
it? It's a lot.
I know, it is hurting him because last night when he
It
got
is
Uber
hurting
Eats,
me.
he didn't pay for priority.
I didn't pay for
He
priority.
just had to wait
Yeah, so it does. It's
while
affecting
his
everyone.
Crimea River.
burger from down the
that's a good
road.
one. It drove around the suburbs.
That's a bad thing.
Does it
About it. You
go-
know what? Can
does
I
it
tell
walk?
you?
He went to the airport and back.
I don't ever. It took 20 minutes to get from Morley to Maylands.
And if
which
you'd
is,
gone
which
and got it
I'm
yourself?
5 minutes away.
Yeah,
So, but yeah.
that's how Nathan's impacted.
I tell Nat all the time. I go onto Uber Eats and I think I'm going to order something, but then I just think, you lazy
Yeah.
a-hole, get up and get it yourself
Yeah.
because it's so close.
And
And,
then
when
you-
you're single, Natalie, it's a $10 delivery fee. It hurts.
yeah, for
And that's
one
when you
burger.
invented salt and pepper toast.
Well, Sean, it took the world by storm. So,
Of course it did.
I mean, I don't know. What have you cooked that took the world by storm? The answer's nothing. Let's talk about hustles.
We digress.
Everybody is doing the hustle at the moment.
Yeah,
Side hustle. It's earning Aussies an extra $4,000 a month. That's
helps.
not bad,
That
isn't
helps.
it? Yeah. Among them is Frank Hoyt. He's 40. He's a panel beater by trade who travels around Australia fixing hail-damaged cars.
That's cool. That's
He's
cool.
found his little bit. We've got a single mum from Canberra. She's juggling parenthood and caring for her grandmother. She takes on a range of tasks, including she does rental properties, mystery shopping. She even writes heartfelt eulogies for people.
Oh, that's nice. Tell me about the mystery shopping. What is...
Mystery
that's when
shopping
you
is
go,
when
you pose as a customer, but
Yeah. And then you fill out a form.
You're actually reviewing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're reviewing the service.
Yeah,
usually.
yeah. And these jobs are being picked up by Airtasker. So these are Airtasker's most in-demand tasks. Number one is this isn't in order. Removalists. You've got residential cleaning. You've got a general handy person. You've got garden and lawn mowing, and then you've got waste disposal collection. Australia's highest paid categories for Airtasker is fence constructions, landscape gardeners, bricklayer, demolition, painting, and painting services. I've never used Airtasker, but yet the only person that I've experienced that has used it is Dave, our boss, who once got an Airtasker to come around and clean out his pantry.
Yeah, and or put everything in order.
And
make
we
it
know
nice.
this. We know this because he was watching her on his camera.
To make sure she didn't steal
And she was in
anything.
there. She organised his
Yeah.
pantry, and then
Yeah.
and then that
Now,
was
Sean, you struck me as
Yeah.
somebody who would be right all over Airtasker.
I was all over it, and a shout out to our friend Gail that we met many years ago at
makeup
Channel
artist
9.
Gail.
Oh, Gail's amazing.
Because 10 years ago at least, Gail put me on to Airtasker, and we were building a new house. We've been in the place for 10 years, and I hired someone to come and just move soil. Because all this mound of bloody sand.
So you
and I
got
was
them to
like,
move some
I'm not
dirt.
doing this, yeah. So, and I got this person over, and I think it was like $20 an hour, and they just moved all this sand. It was the
But
worst
couldn't
job
you
in
have
the
told
world.
yourself it was a workout?
Oh, wait,
Nah.
isn't
Did you-
the world
I
a
still go to
gym?
the
Did
gym
you
before
go to
then.
the gym while he was doing it?
Yeah, absolutely I
But
did.
isn't the world a gym? That would be
Yeah, but I like to use
workout.
the equipment rather than a wheelbarrow and a spade. So I used that, and then also got someone to put in a floating cabinet for a TV.
No.
Yes.
No.
What else did you do?
Yes.
What else did they do?
No.
What else
Tell
did they
everyone
do?
the whole truth.
What, they put the
Tell
cabinet
everyone
together from
From IKEA. He
From
hired
IKEA.
someone to put an IKEA thing together, and then they put it on the wall. You could have done that first, and then they put them on the wall.
As if you know me.
I do know you.
Okay, if I'm going to make it sound worse, then someone came in and put the bunk beds together in the boys' room when we first moved in. But
I
I've
think
been
that's for the
banned.
best.
I've been banned. Megan, my wife, has banned me.
Why? Because she hired somebody to come and put Sonny's crib together.
Yeah, but that's like 14 years
her
ago.
bastard husband wouldn't do it, to be honest.
So she realised then you didn't have the capacity to do it. Why does she think now you do have the capacity to do these things?
She just says I'm being lazy if I'm not attempting it, and I am being lazy. I can't I can't do these.
So
things.
you're
I
just
don't want
aware of what your skill set is.
to. That's the other thing. That's a good point.
And it's minimal.
It's limited.
I've seen people use air tasking. Say when was it In-N-Out Burger came to Perth?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
There was a story. Someone had hired an Airtasker to go and line up and get them their burgers.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because they were at work, and then because that line went for like an hour and a half.
You could get an Airtasker to line up like at the Harry Styles concert, so you get a good spot, and then you just swan in at the last minute.
Literally, this is the stuff that they
Get your place at Rotto?
Yeah.
Because that happens?
Yes.
It's not bad.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We are talking about using Airtasker for all sorts of things.
Yeah, the Australians are getting on the side hustle train because not because they want to, because they have to
make a bit of extra cash.
And the ones that are putting a little bit of effort into it, they're pulling $4,000 a month.
Yeah, I mean, selling your body, Natalie. What do you?
No,
it's a bargain.
Well, most of Natalie's clients they put it on lay-by. They put the lay in the lay-by.
Holly's in Palmyra. Morning, Hol.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Holly.
Have you used Airtasker?
We did. We moved from Adelaide 2 years ago, and we needed someone to go and inspect houses for us.
Oh,
yeah,
how
cool.
interesting.
So did you trust their judgment?
Yeah, we did actually. We paid them. We paid them, and then they gave detailed videos of house inspections and honest reviews if it was any good or not.
Amazing.
That's awesome. What was the hourly? Was it an hourly rate that you had to come up with?
We ended up, I think it was a bit pricey. We ended up paying like $60 one time, and then you can end up like talking to them, and then they can do more inspections for you, and you kind of just organise it separately.
Yeah, right.
That is so clever because you know what? These virtual tools just don't do it.
No.
You know, and you need someone to be able to go and have a look at the finishes.
Yeah.
Because the amount of houses that I've seen online that look perfect and you go in there and upon closer inspection, it's actually quite ratty.
Yes, or the bedrooms are really small, that kind of thing. Yeah.
That's clever.
Well done, Holly.
Thanks, Hol.
Tiffany's in Mount Claremont. Hello.
Morning.
Hey, Tiff. Who used Airtasker?
So one of my best friends had to use Airtasker when her son was off to boarding school, and you've got to label every item of clothing down to the last pair of jocks.
Yes.
And she cannot sew to save herself.
Yeah.
So she Airtasked it out.
That's clever.
So sewing their child's name on their jocks and stuff.
Yeah, and socks, everything.
Yep. Everything.
Every article of clothing.
That is ingenious. Who would want to do that?
That's
Isn't
clever.
that crazy? I've forgotten all about when you're a child, you've got your name written on the back of everything. Like,
Yeah.
isn't that funny?
And with school equipment, take away the clothes thing, because you got every name
every
on
pencil.
every pencil.
Do your kids have their names on the back of their jumpers?
They used to. Oh, no, they don't. Not anymore. No.
But at boarding school, because of course everything looks the same and it all goes into the one laundry. So to get it back to every kid, that's the only way to do it, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Remember getting the knife and shaving the end of your pencil off and then writing, NBN. Yeah, love it.
Good times. Latasha, hello.
Good morning.
Hey, Latasha.
Okay, have you used Airtasker?
Yeah, when my daughter was born, we lived over in Victoria, and I found two beautiful ladies to come and fold my washing. I hate folding. I will do everything else. I will wash, I will hang out, I will organise. But, yeah, I don't like folding. Like, I'm looking at the biggest mountain pile right now, and it just, no.
Mount Washmore, I call it.
For about 6 months, I used these ladies in Victoria, and we've moved back to Perth, and no one wants to fold my washing.
You know what? Hey, I'll fold your washing. I like folding washing. Can I tell you, Latasha, it's because I used to, in high school, I used to work at the Surf Shack in Kalgoorlie, and I became a gun at folding clothes.
Yeah. So you do it I don't know how to do it properly now.
I do the shirts properly. I know how to fold most garments, and it looks like it's been in a shop.
Yeah, cool.
So my place, when you look at open up my wardrobe, it's all like it's in a shop, and I take pride in that. And really, my love of laundry is only new since I bought my Joseph and Joseph ironing board, Natalie, which pairs with my cordless iron, which makes just the whole thing a pleasure. No, they're out and they're being they are used. So,
good on you for outsourcing that. And this is the beauty, right? It's putting people that like doing this stuff with people who don't want to do it.
It's so good,
isn't an ad for Airtasker, but it just makes a lot of sense.
It is really good, isn't it? Yeah. All right,
Sean, pick a winner.
Okay, that was great, actually.
Hang on, we've got one more.
Oh, wait, one more.
Hello, Joe.
How you going?
Hi, Joe.
You just snuck in there, Joe. Have you used Airtasker?
I sure have, yeah. That was a bit naughty. I used Airtasker probably a year and a half ago to get someone to do my online induction for a job up north.
Joe.
Joe, that's sensational.
Joe. It's fraud, I think. Is the word.
No, don't use big words.
Have you seen Suits? This is how he started in the game.
Don't use serious crime words. Joe's just telling us a fun story.
Joe.
All right, so Joe, how did it go? Did they pass?
Yeah, they passed. Yeah, there was about 60 inductions. I paid them $100 to do it and gave them the log-on details, and I was passed.
Joe, how many accidents have you had on the work site?
Exactly.
No, there's no accidents. I've been in the industry a long time. It's just I didn't have time to get them all done.
No, I totally get it, because we get them here and I just don't do them most of the time.
I have not even thought about that situation.
Yeah. That's great.
When you're going to get tests and stuff like that. Oh, God, that is so funny. You know what? Wouldn't it be great as well if you're going to go and get a medical for a new job to hire an athlete to go in there?
They have pretty high expectations when you turn up, though. That's
literally never seen anyone fitter.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Our very special friend Maggie Dent joins us now. She's got a new book out and she's threatening us. This is her last.
Can't be true now.
Done. It's called Help Me, Help My Teens, supporting our teens through tough times. Maggie Dent, good morning.
Good
What do you
morning.
mean it's your last, Maggie? What are you doing?
No, done. No, I have to, you have to move on and let the next generation of wise people
Have you
come
run out
forward.
of wisdom?
No.
She's run out of biros.
No, I'm going to write fiction.
Are you?
So much easier. Come on.
Yeah.
So much work.
What are we thinking?
Well, I would
About
like
a boy
to write,
wizard?
No. I'd like to run the story, run some fictionalised version of a country celebrant, because the stories I have from funerals and weddings with tiger snakes and bushfires would be so fun.
That's great.
Sounds like a movie on
so a
the march
country
as well.
celebrant.
Yeah, what a done that. A crime-fighting country celebrant?
No, not that one. But then I also have one I want to write, because I taught in Mirrabooka Senior High School, which was one of the toughest schools in the state, for 12 months when I was about 24. And oh my God, compared to a country high school, the stories that nobody would believe, and they deserve to see the light, because it wasn't the students that were the problem, really. It was the world around them.
Hey, Maggie, I had an idea about a movie plot the other day.
Yeah.
We were speaking with Andrew Gaze.
Yes,
and
we were.
He was because Sean was under the understanding that the American basketball team, all the big stars, were staying on a cruise ship. He said, no, they're actually staying in a different place, and they're catching the train each day, and the train's being shut down, and the only people on it are the American basketball team. And I said, oh my God, wouldn't that be amazing if someone knew that was happening, and then they were to hijack the train and then ransom the American basketball team? Wow. How good would that be?
Yeah. No, you need to write it too.
Yeah. But
Get off
I'm
your
a
butt.
marriage celebrant. And I'm on there going to do a wedding, and then I uncover it. So it's weird that you're doing a marriage celebrant one too.
That's very good.
It's just weird.
I love it.
Hey, and Maggie, your book is fantastic because I was just thinking about it. So I've got a couple of teenagers left. Well, I've got 3 actually, but the 2 youngest ones.
Yeah.
Never give them any slack for being teenagers. And in fact, my wife's away, so I can say whatever I want at the moment. But
because it'll never get back to us.
Okay, go ahead, Sean. Go.
Every day she's teeing off on one of the boys because he's not organised and or cleaning his room. And I know we've had this conversation before, but all they get up is, they make groaning noises, they eat, and that's all they need to do at this point in time. Do you need to hassle them out?
Oh, look, it's one of the pet hates that, particularly boys. So what's the problem if I've got a floor drape? And then there's a bit of a reason behind the reason that they've got all their clothes on the floor, is because when Mum packs it away into the cupboards, they don't know where anything is. So when it's on the floor, they find it easier. So I love the pragmatism of that. So for me, if I was going to stress every time out of, I had 3 boys in, adolescent years at the same time, I would have destroyed the relationship, but I would have turned the house into a nag fest. So I just shut their door so I couldn't see it. Yeah. And they've all turned up to be really decent humans. So I guess we've got to look at, I want you to save all your energy for the big stuff, which is what's in the book. And I want you to keep thinking, do they feel safe here? Do they feel loved? Because what we know is the number one thing that your teen or anyone else's teen needs to get through this journey, which is tumultuous and bumpy for all the right reasons, is do they have one safe person who could be a safe base when they muck up?
Yeah.
Have they got someone who's going to love them no matter what they do, crash your car, get caught with the bong, whatever? Have they got one person? So the untethered teens don't have anyone. And that's why I write about this is for parents, but it's also For those lighthouse figures who, you know, sometimes an aunt, uncle, grandparent, sometimes a good teacher who just takes a kid aside, says, you know, mate, you're just wasting your time here and you've got a brain. I want you to give it a go, right? That little gem, I call it a seed of potential. Right. If it's not sown, it can't germinate. And if all they're getting is, this is what you're doing wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, they are drowning with a negative self-critic that is telling them everything that is negative about them. They all do it. And that's the sad part of negative social media. It feeds the negativity, so they all hate themselves. What they need is, you know, TLC and someone who can say, oh, it's awful, but it doesn't last forever.
We're joined by the magical Maggie Dent, who just solves all of your problems for a short time only, though, because she's giving up this line of work to become a fiction writer. Maggie Dent, her last book, Help Me, Help My Teen, supporting our teens through tough times.
I'll always come and talk to you guys.
Maggie, you're
the
amazing.
next book is going to be 50 Shades of something.
Okay, Maggie, we've got Teresa. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, right, Teresa. Now, you've got a 15-year-old son?
I do. And I heard Sean's comment this morning about the whole teenage and alcohol. So the situation is, you know, obviously, I purposely went through a school bag, but went through a school bag, found a hip flask in his school bag. He does go to a private school. He, you know, wants to exceed, and he does quite well at school. So obviously, sorry, Maggie, what I didn't do is I lost my shit, as you do.
No, it's normal.
And obviously, I think he, you know, obviously tried to defend himself and say, you know, I'm going through his stuff. And then, so I did calm down after a couple of days and we had a bit of a chat last night. And I don't know whether I should have said this, but I did actually say how disappointed I was and how absolutely ashamed I was, only because, you know, we do send him to a private school and he's always done so well. And I tried to make him understand that what he's done, and luckily enough I found it, not the school, is that it's an expulsion. So his career would have just been, you know, his high school years would have been worse. He, you know, wants to go to university. But the hard thing I'm grappling with is clearly I've taken everything away from him. His phone, his social media, his school laptop, I've told him is literally only for school only now. And look, he has been very obliging, but the guilt I've got now is I've taken everything from him. What do I give back? Like, I feel terrible in literally taking everything from him. And he did actually say last night that he's spoken to his head of year and he's actually going to go and see a counsellor. So now I don't even know what else is going on. And I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss.
I'm coming.
There's a lot, Maggie.
All right.
There's a lot.
So the very first thing is forgive yourself for losing your schmick, because as I just explained, it is what we biologically wired to do. My only concern is that you did the disappointment shame one on him, and that's like a massive burden that I want you to at some point come back and take off his back, because parental disappointment is a massive, it comes up in all the research and all the survey that I did, is the hardest thing is when I let my parents down. And I've got to not only carry my own disappointment with myself, I have to carry my parents' disappointment. And the very fact he knows how much you're paying for that private school makes it even bigger. So I want you to at some point have another conversation with him, provided, you know, feed him first, make him feel safe and go, I needed to, like I was disappointed, but I forgot you would have been disappointed in yourself. So it's okay. I get it. And also I understand this is what teens do. I want you to come along inside and say, you know, now I understand, you know, that you make poor choices, you are risk-taking, your impulse control's not good, and you're actually not deliberately being a bad human. I want you to change that conversation a little bit. And then going to whatever you're doing, you've taken him off everything. So that is actually putting him into a highly stressful state, because connection to friends is one of their protective factors. So I want you to work out how we can get back into some sort of, because you can't just punish and hope that changes his behaviour. I want you to come in and go, I realise punishment doesn't teach anything. I think you've learned a really big lesson from this experience. You are going to see someone, which is fantastic. How about we work out what would you like to be reconnected with your friends? How do you reconnect to them? So serious friendship alliances are a really important part of our teen's survival through this really big window. So, that's just my suggestions. And then I want you to write him a love note and, love it, put it in his lunchbox, write it on his pillow, reassure him you love him exactly the same as before all this happened.
Did say to him, do you want a big hug?
Yeah. Even bigger than that. You've got to put it in words because they're not always good.
Okay.
Yeah, hug the hell out of him. Restore him that this is just a little bump and it's a bumpy ride, but we still love you exactly the same amount, and I know you're going to learn from this mistake. And I always believe in not only second chances but third too if you have to.
Yeah.
Well done, Mum.
I know. Okay,
tough.
thank
Good luck,
you.
Teresa.
Good luck.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.